that's it. So you turn the key so it lines up with the little dot here, insert a pin, and the pin holds the releasing tab down. That's the releasing tab right here. You can see when the cylinder is in, it's held down like this, and then you push the pin in. It goes through the releasing lever and holds it down. Sorry, I started recording late again. I keep running back between different cars here. So there's this plastic cover here that sits over the steering column, to which the wiring harnesses are secured. So just remove this plastic piece. A couple of squish fittings down here, and then it just clips in on the top, pulls out, and that exposes the retaining bolts right here. And you can see they're breakaway bolts, meaning that they were tightened down and then the head breaks off, leaving just a crown. And the piece that we're replacing this lock assembly here. It comes complete with an ignition switch. And initially, like I was saying, I thought this piece broke, and that just comes straight out. And you can see there's a nice little fitting in there, and then there's about a gap this long to where it meshes with the ignition switch. And when turning this side on the old one, the piece over here no longer turns the ignition switch, so it comes as a whole assembly here. So now it's just a matter of breaking those securing bolts loose. We also have to move the this is the interlock cable for the automatic. It's a little clip that we have to lift. And then remove the interlock cable. Yeah, I do have to turn the key to unlock it here. Okay, so once that's out and you got those bolts loose, chisel them loose, you can then turn them with your fingers. That's one. Two. And there's just a ground wire left. It's a little torque screw. Oh, I didn't even see the nut on the back. And guess what just fell out? The piece that broke. So there's the nut, the little torque screw. This here is a little piece that sits in there and turns the ignition switch. It sits against the ignition switch like this. And this piece broke off on the inside here. This is the side that the ignition switch is in. This was the good side. That's the piece that broke. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward. Leave the steering wheel in place, put back in reverse of removal. Okay, everything back together. Key in the ignition, turn it to the on position, warning lights come on, crank it, engine starts. So fairly straightforward. Only special tools that you really need is this pin here, or a long piece of stiff wire that fits through the hole, so you can release the ignition switch, take it out of the housing. As you saw, the new housing came with the ignition switch, a new switch. I think it was like 5 years ago that I did one of these, so it's been a while, and that's why I thought initially that the ignition switch part broke. The end of the part ended at the end of the cylinder for the key. That more so happens on the A3 models, not on the A4s, since obviously it's a different design on those. Anyways, hope this was of use. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, forward, tell your friends, and yeah, that's it. Thanks again.